The time has come. Execute Order 66. Oh wait, no, hang on. My bad. It's way too early for that. The Clone Wars have just begun, and it's up to me, Shenanigoon, to battle throughout their entire story without a single death. That means all 20 story missions have to be beaten without dying once. If I do die, back to the beginning of the game I go. Obviously no regenerating hearts or invincibility allowed. One last thing, I'm not counting the 2 separatist bonus levels cause, well, they're bonus levels and not the main story. With that, here we go. May the Force, and more importantly, the plot armor, be with me. Like all the best games, I wake up imprisoned. At least I'm surrounded by animals. Animals that are trying to kill me. But hey, that's the reaction I get from most things anyways. Escaping my bonds isn't too difficult, and when I subdue the mighty Reek, I find this deadly gladiator arena to actually be filled with riches. Really flaunting that wealth, eh guys? When the entire arena breaks out in a massive fight filled with tons of enemy droids, hope sure seems low. But worry not. All I have to do is endlessly swing my lightsaber like a madman, and that keeps 95% of attacks from hitting me. Though there is that rare shot that does make it in. This method ensures my success, but often does cost Padme her life, as Obi-Wan is a menace with that blade and loves to auto-target her. Now to evacuate the Jedi. Good thing there's so many Masters left alive, this should be easy. Except none of them are helping to open or close the gunships. Plo Koon? Kit Fisto? Any help at all? Nope. Just make me do all the work. This is gonna be a very long war indeed. Geonosis is known for being one of the deadliest battles of the war, but it's just a nice day for a bike ride for Mace Windu and friends. I really don't see what's so hard about it for these clones. Just shoot these nice big things in the middle and everything goes the way of Qui-Gon. Now that I've played as some of the Jedi's best, the next mission has me play as perhaps the strongest Sith of all. Yes, of course I'm talking about Darth Jar Jar himself. He masterfully orchestrates his ship to go down among the pirates, and though lacking any equipment, army, or lightsaber, is able to destroy the pirates. It's really simple to use these rhino-like creatures to hijack the pirate tanks, then turn them on their own base till everything is wiped out. Jar Jar did what not even Dooku, nor Anakin, or Obi could pull off. Truly, his power leaves me in great awe. When Ayla Secure is in danger, I begrudgingly go to save her, as this is the first vehicle level of the game. And if you've seen any of my other no-death Star Wars challenges, you know I hate vehicle levels. But this is surprisingly easy. There's very few attackers, and all I have to do is land, pull the lever cronk, and then repeat. Unfortunately, I crash land right after and am forced into something truly terrible. Something to be avoided at all costs in LEGO games. Spinning my studs for something temporary. I know, a true tragedy. Definitely not spending another cent on help. Thankfully, using their own tanks against them doesn't cost me a thing, easily providing me with victory. In the skirmish for the droid factory, I found myself pitted against waves of battle droids. Every time I wipe them out, another wave arrives, stronger than before. My wish to not spend money is only counteracted by a wish to not risk dying, so I buy a laser tank to remove the enemy's gold buildings. This brings an end to the waves, but not an end to my suffering. For now, there are indestructible tanks bearing down on us. But worry not. Ahsoka's on her way to stop them from inside the factory. Well, maybe worry a little actually, as the super tank inside could easily make me a wee Padawan stain. I'm ultra cautious, blocking and jumping like crazy. This allows me to disable the tank and use it to blow up the factory. In the explosion, the Padawans appear to perish, but thankfully, they survive in the indestructible tank. Too bad about the clones they crushed to death. Hopefully these clones don't hold a grudge. I mean, the ones we haven't got killed yet, of course. Reaching the final level of Dooku's, it doesn't take long to find Luminara, who we're here to rescue. The Geonosian Queen has captured her and taken our lightsabers. Potentially, this could be very hard to survive, but when the Queen shoots her, butt eggs at us? All we have to do is stand in this corner out of sight till she shoots the purple butt eggs. This allows us to get our lightsabers, but now the Queen is giving birth to bombs? What is this power? Is this the dark side's unnatural power Palpatine was telling Anakin about? If so, how can I too learn to pop out butt bombs? The Queen isn't spilling her secrets, so we drop some rocks on her, grab Luminara, and book it. The Hive gives chase, but I find endlessly jumping away makes an easy escape. With that, the group laughs in glee, and I just wondered to myself how Dooku's getting such great footage of everything. Now to chase the droid General Grievous in order to get our loyal buddy R2 back. After planting a bunch of bombs, Grievous arrives and our new astromech turns on us. The good general nearly kills me, but thankfully I can chuck enough trash at him before his final blow. He then tries to social distance, cause, you know, his serious coughing issue, but I force him to flee further by getting right up on him. Switching to Anakin, I tap X with all my heart, praying my plot armor will hold up with only one heart against Magna Guards and more droids. Unlike other LEGO games, objects don't seem to drop hearts, only enemies do that. Which would make sense, I guess, if these weren't all droids already. I decide to ignore that disturbing question, heal off of them, and fix up R2. With him comes the most epic battle of all, rivaling that of even Obi-Wan versus Anakin. R2 versus R3. The two astromechs are really letting each other have it. When I build all the parts of a ship hidden inside another ship, because that makes perfect sense, I race to R2's rescue. Strangely, instead of just shooting the evil trash can, I decide to blow up the entire bridge, almost dooming both of them. Guess still a better plan than my initial attempt to just fly away and abandon everyone. Now to take down Grievous's super ship, the Malevolence. If you're wondering what I was thinking during this mission, it's actually quite simple. Here's my one continuous thought. I hate flying, I hate flying, I hate flying, I hate flying! When Padme gets herself captured, we head into rescue, and things go pretty simple until he arrives. Yes, the diabolical protocol droid C-3PO appears to ruin my time. I use him to unlock a console, but as it turns out, unlike every other droid, C-3PO is truly hated, and therefore still fired upon, leading to my untimely demise before I can switch to someone actually competent. Is this karma for throwing him into the electricity? If so, that's pretty petty of the game. Either way, I have to start the game all over again. On my second flight to save Ayla Secura, I find that just force-holding the droids makes me immune to damage, and I can use them to mow down their own brethren. How nice and messed up of me. Upon reaching Padme's rescue again, this time I push Anakin to be right next to C-3PO so I can quickly switch back to him safely, and that works. Unfortunately, while trying to move R2 to another platform, I accidentally send him flying to his death. My bad. When he appears on the other platform anyways, I switch to him, but the little punk had started flying back mid-switch. This led to me plummeting to my death. Why do the droids on my side keep getting me killed much more than the entire enemy droid army I'm fighting against? Finding myself back in the Geonosian arena, I'm quickly killed fighting Jango Fett. A surprise to be sure, but a very unwelcome one. Going again, I discover whoever you finish the accolade off actually changes the little cutscene after. I just thought that was a cool detail that they made happen. The next two runs in a row are ruined by super accurate cannon fire. When did the droids learn how to shoot, and can they please unlearn? I finally make it back to Padme's rescue, and this time don't send myself plummeting to my death. It's actually quite simple to not chuck a droid. Who knew? Grievous arrives to fire at us, and while he's simple to avoid, I still manage to get shot and killed. This level isn't difficult in nature at all, it's just a haven for bad luck, it seems. While fighting Grievous yet again, I discover you can stun him if you attack him enough. I had no idea. I'd just been running away and praying to the Force. This is so much easier. Reaching the Padme rescue for the fourth time, this time I really prove C-3PO's separation anxiety from Anakin, and then I make it through the Grievous fight pretty easily by just waiting to throw the barrels at him till right after he shoots me. Everyone knows getting shot doesn't hurt if you're concentrating. I prove that even more so a moment later by taking the bridge as Anakin. Sure, Padme and C-3PO are getting torn apart by the droids, but I'm perfectly safe here using the Force. I sure hope this doesn't hurt my relationship with Padme. I'm sure she gets it. I mean, it's not like this whole thing was a rescue mission for her or something. Grievous escapes the ship before it goes down, but we quickly track him down to his lair. I have a good deal of troops along for the ride. Scratch that. I have a couple troops along for the ride, but one has a rocket launcher, so that counts for plenty. Fighting the Cyborg General is rather easy as always, but when I chase him to this area, it feels like I definitely shouldn't step on these buttons. I really don't want to do this. But oh, look at that. What a convenient floor. Maybe Grievous should work on his traps. When he sicks his big friend on us, the fight actually goes surprisingly smooth, as all I have to do is grapple, strike, and repeat. Well, smoothly if you don't count both of the clones getting killed in the cutscene. Grievous just won't quit, though. Now he's launching an attack on a clone outpost. It's up to Commander Cody and Captain Rex to find the survivors and stop these attackers. Unfortunately, a giant worm is also attacking the clones, because, of course it is. When do clones ever have the Force on their side? I certainly don't when I get myself crushed and sent back to the start. Reaching the worm again, this time it goes much easier as I patiently wait to fire instead of scrambling to get myself killed. And taking back the outpost is super easy when you have a rocket launcher to do everything for you. Who needs skill when explosives will do? Sadly, I actually do need skill after all, as I have to use my blaster cannon to clear out wave after wave of droids, but their overwhelming numbers means my end. When I reach this moment again, I find myself stuck in a stalemate. I need that last explosive droid behind them, but I can't quite blow up its storage while also keeping the battle droids out of fire range. So, for about 7 minutes, I just stood and fired away, trying desperately to break the explosives free, but not get shot in the process, all with one heart to sustain me. Every single time I stopped shooting the box to shoot the droids, the box began to cool down, and every time I focused on it, the droids got closer. Finally, the box breaks, and I hightail it out of there with it. It's times like these that I really wish these clones all carried around lightsabers too. You'd think I'd have fought Grievous enough, right? But nope. Time for boss fight after boss fight with him. They're the exact same boss fight over and over, which works in my favor, but by the last one, the cyborg general has learned how to spin like a beautiful dancer. It's glorious to witness, I admit, but also very damaging, and I'm not quite fast enough to avoid getting killed. 2 hours later, I finally make it back to the clone outpost, and this time things go much smoother with holding back the droids. Turns out pushing them all aggressively back to the ship buys plenty of time to break open the box and escape. Really wish I had done that before. Well, live and learn. Or, I guess, in this case, die, return, then learn fits much better. The 4 fights with Grievous go better as I'm much more prepared for his dazzling spin, and those 4 fights make up nearly the whole level. With that, it's time for Ventress at last. Right away, things go awry with droids ambush our position. They continuously swarm us, and while I can slow them down, I can't cease their assault completely. I seem to be doomed to die, but thankfully I can get a cannon up to send them to droid heaven. This buys me enough time to reclose their doors, grab a droid head for a souvenir, and flee the scene. What a level. What do you mean it's not over? What do you mean I have a huge boss fight ahead with just 1 health to do it? Well, it seems I forgot one small key detail in my jubilation. The universe hates me. Ventress, like most bosses, is far easier than her minions, but I can't keep ahead forever. Near the end of the fight, I fail to stop her attack, and down I go. I had no clue Dooku's missions were going to be the easiest missions. I really shouldn't have started with his. When next I reach Ventress, this time I arrive with more health, which I promptly lose fighting her. Thankfully, her droids drop parts to heal me back up, and I'm able to send her attacks back at her in order to win. When Yoda and his clone escort gets ambushed by the Separatists, I have to take out several tanks. While this makes me hyperventilate at incredible speeds, the tanks are surprisingly easy to destroy as long as I keep jumping and endlessly firing to avoid hits. Graceful? No. Effective? Very. I do find more proof of Darth Jar Jar with his line about him jumping higher than even Jedi can. Coincidence? I think not. I then play hide and seek with this little droid who has even more health than General Grievous did. If he didn't die here, I'd vote to make him the new droid commander. The next 3 missions are all about invading Ryloth, the world of the Twi'leks. The space battle above is quite simple for the most part, as the enemy ships, for some strange reason, decided to tie all their ship functions to 3 guns on every single one of them. Blow those up, down goes the ships. What a strange, wonderful system. Taking Ryloth is extremely easy when I'm given overwhelming firepower, first with this turret, then this walker, and then these cannons. Probably not much of Ryloth left to save with how many explosives I use, though. Oh well. In the final mission of taking Ryloth, the game clearly wishes for me to spend my hard-earned stuns to build bases. I ain't spending a single silver stud if I can help it. I resort to my old tried-and-true method of using their own tanks against them. This works perfectly, and I don't even have to spend money to rebuild the energy bridge. Sadly, with no enemy tanks left, I do have to buy a single walker in order to blow the door and finish the mission. But with over 200,000 studs looted from this impoverished planet, that's not so bad. I mean, morally, it's very bad. But you know, we're the Republic. We ignore little things like morals. With that, all 3 main storylines are finished. There's one last thing to do. Blow up a bunch of Separatist forces and uncover the mighty Zillo Beast. Likely the very last of its kind and just minding its own business. So of course, I need to order every single tank to open fire on it so I can knock it out. This is the last true test for me. Not because it's hard, it's actually very easy to beat as long as I keep on the move and knock the debris from the sky. Oh sure, I'm shouting, oh my god, I'm gonna die, oh my god, I'm gonna die, oh my god, I'm gonna die, the whole time, but I feel that's pretty reasonable given the 300-foot monster chucking tanks at me. But no, it's my last true test as I have no choice but to spend a ton of studs to buy enough tanks to subdue the beast. Sure, this is a no-death challenge, it has nothing to do with how many studs I have, but it's the principle of the thing, and clearly I have very little principles as seen with me shooting this poor creature into extinction. With that evil done, huzzah! I've now beaten all of LEGO Star Wars The Clone Wars without dying a single time for the full story. Phew! War certainly changes a person. At the start of that, I was carefree, chaotic, and clearly a bit masochistic. But now? Well, honestly, I'm the same, but richer and with a lot more war crimes under my belt. 16 times I became one with the Force, with the final run taking 4 hours and 35 minutes, out of 22 hours spent in total on the challenge. The reward for the hardest part of the challenge goes to the Rookies level, especially having to clear out the droids with the heavy turret. It's the one level where I have no lightsaber to defend myself, and that makes it much more dangerous. The reward for the easiest part goes surprisingly to every single vehicle mission. Unlike other LEGO games, flying is the safest part as there's next to no threats trying to shoot me down. With that, I thank you for watching, and I hope this galaxy-spanning war pleased you, you evil viewer you. If you love democracy like the Senate does, perhaps like, comment, or even subscribe. Whatever you do, I leave you for now with this. Have a fantastic day, and watch those wrist rockets.